Most people think creatine is only for bodybuilders, big tubs of powder, gym bros, people trying to get huge, but creatine has become one of the most talked about supplements in fitness, health and performance, and even brain health. And honestly, I think a lot of people are asking the wrong question. They ask, should I take creatine? But the better question is, what am I expecting creatine to fix? If you understand creatine properly, it can be a useful tool. But if you expect it to fix a bad routine, poor sleep, random meals, inconsistent training, and no structure, you're going to be disappointed. So stay with me till the end of this video, because I'm going to break down what creatine actually does, what the recent research says, what it does not do, and how I would use it inside a proper fitness system. Not hype, not fear, the honest answer. Creatine might help you, but only if the foundation is already being built. First, let's clear this up. Creatine is not a fat burner. It's not a testosterone booster. It's not a magic muscle building powder even. And it is definitely not a replacement for training. Creatine is a compound your body already produces naturally, and it is stored mostly in your muscles. It helps your body produce quick energy during activities like short and intense effort. So think about heavy lifting, sprinting, squats, a few explosive reps, that extra push when set gets difficult. Creatine support that kind of performance. So when people say creatine helps build muscle, it's not because creatine directly builds muscle while you sit at home. It helps you train a little better, recover between high intensity efforts a little better, push performance a little more. And if you combine that with proper resistance training, protein, sleep, and consistency, that can contribute to better results. And that's the key, Creatine supports the work. It doesn't replace the work. And this is why I don't like when supplements are marked like shortcuts, because the fitness industry loves selling people the idea that the missing piece is a product. They try to push you to buy a new product all the time. You're not progressing? Buy this. You're tired? Take this. You're not building muscle? You need this powder. But you know what? In most cases, the missing piece is not another supplement. The missing piece is structure. Are you training consistently? Are you getting stronger over time? Are you eating enough protein? Are you sleeping properly? Are you doing enough steps? Are your weekends destroying your weekdays? Are you actually following a plan long enough for it to work? If these things are missing, creatine is not going to save you, and this is the big message of the video. Creatine can be useful, but it belongs on top of the foundation, not instead of the foundation. Now, what does the research actually say? Creatine monohydrate is one of the most researched supplements in sports nutrition. And when we look at the evidence, the strongest support is still around strength, power, high intensity performance, and lean mass when combined with strength training. So if you're lifting weights 3 to 4 times per week, progressing, you're exercising, eating well, recovering properly, creatine may help you a little more out of that training. Not because it makes the plan magical, but because it supports performance inside the plan. A recent meta-analysis in adults under 50 found that creatine combined with resistance training showed better strength gains compared with resistance training plus placebo, especially in men. That matters for a lot of people watching this, because the goal is not just to lose weight. The goal is to build stronger body, better muscle, better shape, better performance, more confidence. And this is where creatine actually fits in your life. Not as the main character, as a supporting tool. But here's where we need to be careful, because some newer research also reminds us not to overhype creatine. There was a recent randomized trial that looked at creatine supplementation with and without resistance training. And what I liked about research like this is that it forces us to stay honest, because if you take creatine but don't train properly, you might see some changes in body weight or lean mass measurements, because creatine increases water stored inside the muscle. But that is not the same thing as building actual muscle tissue from quality of training. And even when creatine is added to resistance training, the benefit is not always dramatic in every single study. So the honest message is creatine is useful, but it is not guaranteed to transform your body. It is not more important than your training plan. It is not more important than protein. It is not more important than sleep. It is not more important than consistency. And this is why I respect creatine, but I don't worship it. Now, let's talk about the part that is becoming very popular right now, creatine and brain health. You've probably seen people online saying creatine is not just for muscle anymore, and there's some real truth there. The brain also needs energy. Creatine plays a role in energy metabolism, and recent research has been looking at creatine supplementation and cognitive function. Some studies and reviews suggest creatine may help certain aspects of cognitive performance, especially in situations where the brain is under stress, like sleep deprivation, aging, or lower dietary creatine intake. But again, we need to be honest. It is promising, but it doesn't mean creatine suddenly becomes a miracle brain supplement. It doesn't mean you take 5 grams and suddenly become focused, disciplined, and mentally sharp while sleeping 5 hours and scrolling till midnight. That's not how this works. If your sleep is bad, fix your sleep first. If your routine is chaotic, fix your routine first. If your stress is unmanaged, build better recovery habits. Creatine may support the system, but it will not replace the system. And this is where my coaching philosophy comes in. I don't want clients to become obsessed with one supplement. I want them to build a body and lifestyle where the basics are handled first. Training, food, sleep, steps, hydration, recovery, accountability. Then if creatine makes sense, we add it. Now let's talk about safety. This is one of the biggest concerns people have. Is creatine bad for your kidneys? For healthy people, current evidence does not show that standard creatine supplementation damages kidney function. A recent systematic review and meta-analysis found that creatine may increase serum creatinine slightly, which makes sense because creatinine is related to creatine metabolism. That is important, but it also needs context. If you already have kidney disease, medical issues, or if you're under medical supervision, don't take supplement advice from Instagram or YouTube alone. Speak to your doctor first, get blood work done, be sensible. That's not fear, that's just responsible. For most healthy adults, creatine monohydrate at normal doses is generally considered safe. Safe does not mean needed by everyone. You still have to ask, does this fit my goals? That difference matters. Now, how should you actually take creatine? Keep it simple. Creatine monohydrate, 3 to 5 grams per day, every day. You don't need a fancy version. You don't need a complicated stack. You don't need some premium advanced absorption product, just basic creatine monohydrate from a reputable brand. Some people do a loading phase where they take around 20 grams per day, split across smaller doses for 5 to 7 days, then move to maintenance dose that can saturate the muscle faster, but you don't have to load. You can just take 3 to 5 grams daily and let it build up over time. Before workout, after workout, morning, evening, the main thing is consistency. Take it daily, drink enough water, and don't expect to feel a dramatic stimulant effect because creatine is not caffeine. You might not feel it immediately. It works by building up over time. This is another reason I like it as a teaching tool. Because even creatine teaches you the same lesson as fitness. Consistency matters more than intensity. Now, who might benefit from creatine? If you strength train consistently, it can be useful. If you do high intensity sports, sprinting, CrossFit, Olympic lifting, boxing, conditioning, hierarchical training, it can support repeated high intensity effort. If you're a vegetarian or eat very little meat, you may respond well because dietary creatine intake can be lower. If you're getting older and want to preserve muscle and strength, creatine combined with resistance training may be useful as well. But notice the phrase I keep saying, combined with resistance training, not combined with sitting all day. Not combined with random workouts once every 2 weeks, Not combined with poor food and bad sleep, combined with training. They want the advanced tool before they have the basic routine. They want creatine before they have the training plan. They want protein powder before they have a structured meal, They want fat burners before they have their steps done, They want pre-workout before they have sleep. But the order matters. Foundation first, supplements second. So here's how I would build it inside the Matter system. Step 1, train 3 to 4 times per week. Progressive resistance training like push, pull, legs, hinge, core. Get stronger over time. Step 2, build meals around protein because your body still needs the raw material to recover and build muscle. Step 3, walk daily, because your health and fat loss are not built inside the gym. Step 4, sleep properly, because recovery is where the training actually adapts. Step 5, if all of that is in the place, then add creatine, 3 to 5 grams per day. Simple, no drama. That is the right order, and this is exactly how I want people to think about fitness. Not as random hacks, not as isolated tips, not as one magic supplements, as a system, because supplement can help a system work a little better, but it cannot replace the system. And this is also why my 6-month method coaching is built around one trick. It's not take creatine and change your life. It's not do this one workout. It's not follow this diet for 30 days. It's a full structure. Training, nutrition, steps, sleep, recovery, weekly check-ins, adjustment when life gets busy. Because that's what most people actually need. They don't need another product. They need someone to help them build a whole system. And yes, if creatine fits your goal, we can use it. But the reason clients change is not because of one supplement. They change because the structure finally matches their life. They stop guessing, they stop starting over, they stop jumping from trend to trend, and they start repeating the right basics long enough for them to work. So if you're watching this and you're thinking, should I take creatine? Here's my honest answer. Maybe. If you're healthy, training consistently, eating enough protein, sleeping reasonably well, you want a small performance support tool, creatine monohydrate can make sense. But if your training is random, your meals have no structure, you sleep badly, and you are hoping creatine fixes all of that, don't start with creatine. Start with your structure, because the strongest supplement is still a repeatable routine. So here's what I want you to do. Before you buy another supplement, ask yourself these 5 questions. Am I strength training at least 3 times per week? Am I eating protein in my main meals? Am I walking enough? Am I sleeping enough? Am I following a plan I can repeat for 6 months? If the answer is no, that is your real starting point. And if you want help building that, I've created a free meta structure guide you can use this week. Click the link in the description and download it. And if you're ready to stop guessing and want proper coaching for the next 6 months, where you build your training, nutrition, habits, recovery, and supplement strategy around your actual life, you can apply for 6-month method coaching through the link below. Creatine is not magic, but when the foundation is right, it can be a useful tool. Simple structure, better habits, stronger body, real consistency, and that's the method approach. I'll see you on the next one.